Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Greenpeace Greenwire training. I'm really excited that you guys are joining. That's really great. So in this training, you're going to find out a lot of the tips and tricks of Greenwire and how to use Greenwire in order to build your group to take action together offline. Hey, David, are you joining the training?
Yes.
Cool. I'm Kylie. It's nice to meet you. Um, So we're going to go ahead and get started pretty soon. I just want to talk about how the training is going to go. So it's really just going to be like a click-through tutorial so we can see just going through step-by-step how Greenwire works and how you can use it as a tool. So are there any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay, great. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and then we can get started.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, so you should be able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so we're just going to go click through and you can just follow along. And also, I have a notes document that I'll share with you after the training, so you don't need to feel like you need to write everything down. It'll all be in the notes. And if anyone is watching on the live stream, you can just reach out to me on Greenwire or send me an email or a message and just let me know that you're watching and I'll send out the notes to you. All right. So we're going to start out here on the homepage of Greenwire, which you should all be familiar with. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we call the 3 C's of Greenwire, which are create, contact, and coordinate. So you can see here the first C is create. So we can see here in the overview on the home page, we can see events and blogs and photo albums that folks are sharing on Greenwire to really just share those stories with the community and that content that they've created. Contact is the second C, so we can see folks reaching out and once again sharing their stories and just kind of starting conversations and getting in touch with each other through Greenwire. And then the third C is coordinate. So Greenwire is a place where volunteers can come and coordinate their groups and start new groups and also coordinate with existing Greenwire members for events and just building up that group to take action together offline. So the first thing that we're going to start with in the training is your Greenwire profile. So I'm going to use my profile as an example. I'm logged into a different account right now just so that what you see in this training is the same as what your screen would look like were you going through and clicking through yourself. All right, so I'm actually going to share the Hangout link with Alina so that she can join here. So give me 1 second. All right. So this is my Greenwire profile. So the first thing that you want to think about is your profile picture. So like I said before, Greenwire is all about coming together and then taking action together offline. So you want your profile picture to be a picture of you that is recognizable so that when folks are getting involved with you offline in the real world, they're able to recognize you and you're approachable to them based on what their interaction with you on Greenwire. And then your About Me is going to be kind of a cut down version of your story of self. So you're going to include if you're a group leader with Greenpeace, if you are a community coach, or you're just a volunteer trying to get started and try to get involved. And then you're going to want to talk a little bit about how you came to the environmental movement and why this movement is important to you. Why did you want to become a volunteer with Greenpeace? Because sharing your story is really just going to help other folks to connect with you and to find things that they have in common with you, and just get a better understanding of who you are, so that once again they're more likely to feel connected with you and want to get involved with you offline. And then I just added at the end a couple interesting facts about myself. Like, I'm from Texas and I love elephants and I love cats. I'm a musician. Just things like that to kind of humanize me a little bit more, because most of the interaction that I have with folks is on Greenwire and online. And so I really try to make my profile show a little bit more about who I am, so people can really get a better understanding of me and have stronger connections to me. And so that's also why I added just some photos, so people can see a little bit more what I'm about. Um, so I'm sure that at this point you guys are all wanting to go and jazz up your profiles. So I'll show you how to do that. You can just go to your profile and click Edit Profile. And that's going to take you to that page. And here you're going to add in all of your information. You want to make sure that you put the correct location information, so that if folks are searching by city and they're searching in your area, they can find you and reach out to you. And you're also going to want to put your picture and about me here, and you can embed links or you can embed photos by clicking the Add Media button. You can add videos. So there's all kinds of things that you can add into your profile. You can also add your education, your school, your profession, all of those things. Something that I think is really cool is you can add your social media to Greenwire. So I could add my Facebook, so I can just click Facebook here and then just paste in my Facebook URL. So what that looks like is I'm going to go to my profile, and you can see when I scroll down, there's this little Facebook tab, so I can just click that, and that's going to open up my Facebook profile. So people can, it just gives people another way that they can contact me. All right. And you can also add your skills. So for example, I can say that I have skills in painting and I'm a musician. I speak English and I speak, let's see, Fiji, sure. And that I love the oceans, forests, sustainable agriculture, toxics, and climate and energy campaign. So I'm a campaign fanatic. I can select all of those. And by selecting these things, that's just going to give people on Greenwire a broader sense of what my interests are and what my strengths are and what I can bring to a group. And then you're going to want to look at your emails and notification settings. So under subscription settings here, you can decide how often you want to receive notifications. So if that's going to be immediately, hourly, daily, or weekly. And we recommend that you at least get your notifications daily, because that will allow you to keep up to date with what's going on Greenwire. So if folks are reaching out to you about your group, or if there are events that are going on, you want to make sure that you're knowing about that as soon as possible. And then immediately, of course, means that as soon as someone posts on your shoutbox, then you'll hear about that. All right, and then one last thing I want to say about the profile is you can see that a lot of folks are posting on my profile, and I really do my best to get back to those folks as soon as possible, just because it's really a great habit to get into, to be checking your profile and making sure that you're responding to people. Because if somebody comes and, say you're a group leader and somebody posts on your shout box and then they don't get a response for 2 weeks, then they're probably not going to want to go back on Greenwire. So you want to make sure that you're engaging people so that they can make those connections with you and then they want to take action with you offline. Oh, Elena, I see that you're able to join. Hello.
Hi, Lee. I joined a little later. I couldn't find the number to call, and it took me a while.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's all that I had to say about the profile, but do you guys have any questions so far? Okay, all right, well, we will move on from here then. So now we're going to talk about ways that you can contact folks on Greenwire. So a great place that you can use to keep in touch with volunteers or to keep in touch with certain staff people or people that you've met on Greenwire is with your Friends tab. So you can just go to where it says Friends on your profile. And this is a great place to just keep a running list of those folks you want to contact, because then if you want to reach out to them on Greenwire, you don't have to search for them. You just have a whole list right here. And then if you have any questions about Greenwire, you can go to this Greenwire Help tab and then click Who's Who. And this is going to take you to a list of all of the Greenwire community managers. Here you have all of the Activist Network staff and some information about them. And then at the bottom, you'll have all of our Greenpeace Greenwire community coaches. So you can see those are our volunteer leaders. And if you are working with a specific community coach, then you can go and find their profile here. If you have questions specifically about Greenwire, best people to reach out to would be me. I'm the first one listed here, or Dan Cannon. And if you are working particularly on our Arctic campaign, or if you have any questions about building a group, the best person to reach out to would be Emily here. She's really great, so I definitely recommend reaching out to her, even just to say hi. And from there, we can talk about how to start a group on Greenwire. So I'm going to go back to my profile here. And Alina, I said earlier, I'm using a different profile than my profile just so that it looks the same as what you see when you're logged into Greenwire.
Okay.
All right, so there's a couple different ways that you can access groups on Greenwire. So from my profile, I can click My Groups, and that's going to bring me to all the groups that I'm a part of. So we're going to use Greenpeace Chicago as an example for today. And I can also just go to Community from the menu on any page, click Community, and then Groups. And then this is going to bring me to an overview of all the groups that are on Greenwire. And so if I want to add a group, I could just click this orange button here that says Add Your Group. Great. So when you're creating your group, the first thing that you want to think about is your group name. And we really encourage folks to use a geographic location, because a lot of our groups on Greenwire are locally based. And it's just easier for folks to find your group if they have your geographic location in the group name. So like Greenpeace Chicago is great because folks that are in the Chicago area can really quickly know that that is a group they can get involved in. And then you can also choose a few different types of groups. So there's campaign groups, discussion groups. Most of you, like I said, will probably be forming local groups. And then there's, yes.
When you're looking for a group, is there any way to look by location or by geographical location instead of just by the name?
Yes, there is. So I'm going to get to that a little bit later. Is that okay?
Okay. Sure,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So as you're creating that group, you are going to add in your location. And so you want to be as specific as possible with your location. So Elena, like you said, when folks are searching for a group, they can find it based on the location. And then you're going to add your basic group information. So when we're looking at the Greenpeace Chicago page, I'm going to show you the public page here. So this is what people see when they are not a member of the group, when they just first go to the group page. And so you can see the mission here is going to show up on this top image. And so that's just going to be kind of a general general explanation of your group, what your group is working towards, and kind of a really general goal of your group. And then your group description. This is going to be very similar to your About Me on your profile. You want to talk about the type of events that your group hosts, what the goals are of your group, and how you're working to achieve those groups, or those goals, I'm sorry. And you just want this to be really engaging and make it sound like your group is just a bunch of fun people doing some really important work to help us make the world better, because that's what you guys are all doing, and it's really amazing to be a part of, and also it's really fun to be a part of, so you want to make sure that you're highlighting that. And then, like your profile, your About Me, you can embed media and links and everything here. And then the other information box here is really great, because this is a place where you can say, like, if your group hosts meetings on a regular basis, or if there's a certain place that you meet, you can put that into this box. So that way, like Greenpeace Chicago has semi-regular meetings on Wednesday nights. So if I was a volunteer and I was joining on a Wednesday morning, and somebody from Greenpeace Chicago wasn't necessarily able to reach out to me that day, I can still look into the group description, and I can say, oh, well, there's a campaign meeting tonight, so I can just go and check that out and see how I can get involved. So it's really all about how you can get people to really easily access your group. So you want to make everything as simple as possible and give your potential group members all the information possible. So you can also put tags on your group. And Elena, once again, this would be a great place where you can put a location, because then even if people are just doing a general search, you can type in the tag. They can type in whatever that location is, and if you've tagged it in your group, then your group will pull up. And so for that, I could just type in like Chicago here, or Greenpeace Chicago, and use that as a tag. And so then it'll come up when people search Greenpeace Chicago. And then you're going to want to select 2 images for your group. So like I said before, this is a public page, so this is going to be your large image. So it's almost like your cover photo on Facebook. So you want a picture that's like very representative of your group and that's dynamic and engaging and interesting. So this picture that Greenpeace Chicago uses is a great example, just kind of this majestic photo of the Chicago skyline. And then you're also going to choose a picture, for a small picture. So this is going to be more like the profile picture of your group. And I think that this picture that Greenpeace Chicago uses is a really great example, because this is at one of their Shell Station rallies, and that's really representative of the type of events that Greenpeace Chicago puts on. So it's a really great thing to use as that image, because then potential group members are able to see the kind of things that they could get involved in by being a part of this group. So are there any questions about creating a group? Okay. You guys can also just shout out with questions if you have them. So once you have your group, like before on my profile, you want to make sure that you're engaging with people and that you're sharing the stories of your group. So we can see that Andrew, who runs the Greenpeace Chicago group, has been posting some photos from past events that have been going on in the last couple of weeks around sustainable seafood, and just different volunteers that are getting involved and just like having a really great time. And that's just advertising the group, and that's making maybe a group member that's never actually gotten involved offline can see that picture and say, oh, I really wish I had actually gone to that event, and I'm definitely going to make sure that I go to the next one. So everything is marketing for your group. And then once you have your group, you can, there's a couple things that you can do by managing your group. So just go to the Manage Group tab and then click People to manage the group members. And this is going to take you to a list of everyone that's in the group. So if you want to send an email to everyone in your group, say that you're hosting an event and you want to make sure that you invite everybody, then you can select all the names and then click select all 90 rows because it'll just select the first 25 people otherwise. And then click choose an operation and then click send an email and then click go. And then this is going to take you to this email template here. So you can type in your subject and then in your message just type in whatever you want to say in your message, whether that's that you're having a meeting or that you want to invite folks to an event. And then something to remember with sending a group email is that this email is going to come from greenwire.usa at greenpeace.org. It's not going to come from you specifically. So you want to make sure that you sign your name at the bottom of the email and that you put your contact information, at least your email address, so that then if folks have a question about the email, then they can reach out to you and they know who the right person is to contact. All right, so going back to the Manage Group Members tab, you can also set somebody as an administrative member. So if you and one of your other group members are the leaders of the group, then you can set that other person as the leader and they'll have the same privileges in the group that you do as the creator. So you can just select their name and then click choose operation, change role and group, and then click go. And then, sorry, this is a bug that we're working on. And then click change role and group and click go. You just have to do it 2 times and then it'll go. And then select administrative member and then click next. And then it's going to say, are you sure that you want to set them as an administrative member? And then just say yes. So I'm going to cancel actually. And then you can also see here that you have the email of everyone in your group. So if you want to archive that into a separate list, you can export the group members by clicking this export button here. And that's going to bring up an Excel spreadsheet. And so as regular Greenwire members, you don't have privileges to see folks' phone numbers, but you can get that information from, if you're working with a community coach, they can get that for you, or you can reach out to one of the Greenwire staff, and we are happy to give that information to you if you want to do like a phone bank for an event or something like that. That's something that we're happy to do. All right, and then one last thing you can do in groups is you can add people to your group. So if you, if somebody just joined Greenwire from your group that you were working with offline and you want to make sure that they get into your group, for example, you can just go to this page and type in their name. So I'm going to type in my name and then just click add users, and then that'll add me to the group. All right, so from here, now that we have our group, we're going to talk about events. So like creating a group, there's a couple ways that you can create an event. So you can go to the Events tab on your group page, or you can once again go to the Community tab and then click Events. And that'll bring you up to an overview of all the events that are going on Greenwire right now. So for example, we're going to use this PepsiCo Cut Conflict Palm Oil event that Greenpeace Chicago is putting on. And so, like I said, you can add the event from there, or you can go to Events and click this orange button here that says Add Your Event. And then that's going to come up with this page to create the event. And the first question that it's going to ask you is part of which group do you want your event. So your event can either be limited to the members of certain groups. So I can say members of selected groups only, and I can select Greenpeace Chicago. Then only people in Greenpeace Chicago can see the event. But usually it's great to select all registered members. And that's just going to pull up Greenpeace Greenwire USA, which is the group that everyone that joins Greenwire is automatically put into. And it's really great to include everybody and make the event available to everyone, because you just have to kind of accept that not everyone that lives in your area is going to be a part of your group that's on Greenwire. So you want to make sure that it's accessible to them, and then after they see the event, maybe they'll be like, oh, well, I haven't joined that group yet. I definitely want to be a part of that group. But then you also want to make sure that even though you have Greenpeace Greenwire USA, that you include Greenpeace Chicago as well, because that way you can, when somebody goes to the Greenpeace Chicago page and they go to that events tab, this event is going to show up. Because if it's only Greenpeace Greenwire USA, it's not going to show up on the Greenpeace Chicago page. So you want to make sure that that is included on your group page. All right, so general information, once again, you're going to have a title, obviously. And once again, here you're going to want to make sure that you include your geographic location, because with especially our Arctic campaign, which I know a lot of you guys are going to be working on, we see a lot of similar events happening all over the country, which is really exciting. But we want to make sure that folks are able to see where those events are taking place, because if you're just looking at the overview of events and you see 10 events that say a letter to the editor party and there's no location, then you're not going to know which one of those is close to you. So it's great to have like letter to the editor party Dallas or letter to the editor party Houston to see how those work. Organizers, you're going to want to make sure that you're included, and then if there are other people that are working on the event with you, you can tag them as an organizer, and that just gives folks a person to get in contact with if they have questions. And then to select an image, you're once again just going to upload a photo for the event. So this is a really good example of an event photo. So this event is a photo petition about conflict palm oil. So you can see this is really kind of what's going to be happening at the event. So that's a really good example and really representative of what's going to be going on. And if you don't upload a photo, it's just going to be like this kind of gray calendar box that's going to come up. So you want to make sure that you include an image in your event, just because it's going to make it look a lot more interesting when folks are going through that overview on the side, and they'll say, oh, actually, that looks really cool. I want to be a part of that. Or, oh, what is that orangutan costume? I wonder what that's about. I want to look at that. And then you're going to put a description of your event, so what's going to be happening, why you're hosting this event, what you're going to be doing, things like that. And like when you are doing your description of your group, you just want to make it sound really engaging and really fun and inclusive and accessible to people, because a lot of times this is the first time that folks have ever volunteered with Greenpeace is attending one of these events. So you just want to make sure that it's really accessible to new folks. And then once again, you can add tags. So like if I was doing a letter to the editor party, I would type in Save the Arctic. Hashtags, you can just type in normally, and actually it's better to do that because people aren't going to search really in the search. They're not going to search like hashtag Save the Arctic. They're going to just type in Save the Arctic. And then you can type in letter to the editor and see what comes up, or you can just create a new tag. So that's something that you can do. And then you're going to add the date and location of your event. Including a location name is a really great idea, like if you're meeting at a Starbucks or if you're meeting at a specific point in a park, just so that, once again, people have access to the most accurate information and it's easy for them to find you and meet up with you at the event.
Kylie, I just have a question.
Yeah.
About the tags.
Mm-hmm.
So when you add tags and you want to do multiple tags,
Mm-hmm.
is there a rule that you have to have a space between them, or
you can just put a comma.
A comma, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that separate one tag from the next tag.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see like I put Save the Arctic. And then I just put a comma, and then I can type in like Greenpeace.
Should you put location there as well as a tag?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great thing to do. And if nothing comes up, you can always just create a new tag as well. Um, so you can select then your event type. So for the Greenpeace Chicago event, this would be a photo opportunity, and also street campaigning. So we can select that, or you can select other, and then you can type in what kind of event it is. And we are really encouraging of you guys using Greenwire to plan whatever you want to plan. So if your event doesn't fit with any of these types, then you can totally just type in something else. And something that I think is really great about our events on Greenwire is you can include volunteer roles. So for this photo event, the roles that they want to be filled are 2 photographers, 3 actors, and 6 photo petition canvassers, and 1 arts and crafts lead. And I think that this is really great because it gives people an opportunity to use their unique skill set. And once again, it makes it really easy for new people to get involved. Because let's say that someone sees this event and they're like, I don't know if I can just approach people and ask them to take a picture. I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. But then they see, oh, well, I can do arts and crafts. I can help people make posters, and I can be the lead on that because I really enjoy doing things like that. And it just allows people to bring their unique skill set to your group, and it helps your group function well, but it also makes your group more inclusive and more accessible to folks. And then you can add multiple roles on here, and then just say the number of people that you need. And another way that I've seen this used, which I thought was really great, was one of our volunteers put in the food that they wanted at their party. So for their letter to the editor party, and he put in he needed 2 people to bring a veggie dish and 2 people to bring dessert. And so it's just another great and easy way to organize an event. The one thing that I want to go back and add is in your description, it's always a really great idea to include your contact information, especially your phone number, because if people are trying to come to your event and let's say they get lost or they don't know where to go, the chance that you're going to be on Greenwire at the time your event is starting is not really that high. So you want to make sure that they have another way of contacting you other than Greenwire if they need to get a hold of you really quickly. All right. So any questions about events? Great. So now that we have our event, let's talk about getting people there. So like I said before, you can definitely send out an email and advertise your event in your group. But you can also go to the community tab and then click members. And you can use this, use the search tool to find folks in your community. And the member search tool is the best tool to use if you're wanting to search anything based on location. So I can type in Chicago, Illinois into this location range box where it says filter and select 25 miles for a 25-mile radius. And you don't need to type in anything into the keywords box. That's just going to kind of mess up your search if you're searching by location. So you only want to use the keywords box if you're searching like for tags or if you're searching for a specific person. So like I said, I typed in Chicago, Illinois and 25 miles, and then I'm going to go down and click this orange button here that says apply. And this is going to pull up everyone that is within a 25-mile radius of Chicago. And then, Alina, to answer your question, you asked if you could search by groups using this. Yes, you can. So you can see that over 100 members came up that are within 25 miles of Chicago, but also 4 groups. So I can just click groups here, and that'll show me those 4 groups that are within that mile radius. And then you can also see the events that are happening within 25 miles of Chicago. So you can see there's 15 events that are on there. But you're still going to access all of this through the member search tool. So if we go back to members, we can search. Can you guys still hear me okay? All right, so you can search by your city, and you can also search by zip code. So I'm not sure what the zip code of Chicago is, but I know the zip code of Bloomington, Illinois. So I'm going to type that in. I'm in a 25-mile radius and then click apply. And it's just going to do the same thing. It's going to pull up everyone within 25 miles of that city. And one thing that you want to do if you're typing a city name, make sure that you just include the state as well, because you know, there's a lot of cities that are in multiple states. Like there's an Arlington, Virginia, and there's an Arlington, Texas, and you just want to make sure that you're being specific, because otherwise Greenwire is going to pull up anyone that is in any city that's named Arlington. And then another really cool thing that you can do with search is, let's say that you are working with a bunch of local groups and you're going to be hosting a huge rally in your community, and you want folks that are good at painting because you want to make some really amazing banners for this rally. So you can type in painting into the skills and then click apply. And this is just like when you were adding your skills in your profile. So this is going to be all the people that listed painting as a skill on their profile and that live within 25 miles of Chicago. So now I can reach out to all of these people and I can say, hey, we're hosting this really big rally and we really want to have these amazing banners, and we saw that you listed painting as a skill and we'd love you to come out and help us get ready for the rally and paint banners with us. And so once again, that's just a way that people can bring their unique skills to the movement and to your group, and to really make sure that you guys are taking advantage of all the talent that you have. And then when you want to reach out to these people, to your search results, the best way is to just go and individually shout on everyone's profile, because that's just going to give a really personal touch. And so you can get in contact with those folks and say, hey, I'm a group leader and I have a group in Dallas, Texas, and I saw that you live within 25 miles of Dallas, and I'd love for you to join my group. Or, hey, we're hosting an event in Dallas this weekend. I'd love for you to come out. Here's all the information. And then you can link to your Greenwire event that you created. So you can also search by profession and school, and you can also search by what groups that your members are in. So if Greenpeace Chicago is hosting an Arctic event and we wanted to see who in Greenpeace Chicago was like really interested in the Arctic, so people who are in Greenpeace Chicago and also in the Save the Arctic group, and then I can click apply, and that's going to pull up everyone that is in both groups. And so we can just do a lot more kind of intentional outreach to those folks and say, hey, I know that you're really interested in the Arctic campaign, and Greenpeace Chicago is going to be hosting this event around the Arctic, so we definitely want to make sure that you're able to be there. That's all I have for you guys about search. Are there any questions? All right. Well, from here,